welcome. We are having this very special chat with Slava Levin, who's CEO and co-founder of Ethnic Group Channels in Canada, and also COO and co-founder of Nextologies. Uh, Slava, thank you so much for joining us, and it's a delight to be chatting with you on the occasion of ET Now being launched in Canada as well. Thank you so much for this partnership.
Thank you. We're very excited, actually.
Great, Slava. It is always great to know, how other countries are consuming business content. Being a business journalist, and ET Now, the leading business news channel here in India, and India and Canada have had a long history. Large section of the citizens there are from Indian origin. Talk to us about this partnership, which has come about now, and what are the thinking and strategy behind this, and how do you see it going forward?
Excellent. Well, as a distributor of multilingual services in Canada, we always look at the market and analyze what is the market lacking. And India being one of the largest markets in Canada in particular, it also has a very unique space in our market. And we felt that, there's plenty of entertainment channels, movie channels, but there wasn't anything with respect to business-minded people. And ET Now fit our criteria, and we had the conversations, and here we are. We are now able to have a channel that talks about business in general, Indian business, Indian market growth to the Canadian community, whether they're Indian origin or just plain old Canadian.
Right. Slava, interestingly, Mr. Prem Vatsa, who's actually a Canadian investor and is also known as the Warren Buffett of Canada, is of Indian origin. He's been on our channel ET Now a couple of times, and he talks about how a lot of Canadian companies, Canadian pension funds, CDPQ, the list is only growing, is investing in India increasingly in various sectors. And the business partnership over the last 5, 7, 10 years has really grown very well. So it's very nice to know here that companies such as yours are airing ET Now there in Canada. Talk to us about how the TV viewership market overall exists in Canada. What are the other channels in your bouquet? And now you're also filling a piece of business news via ET Now.
So the Canadian market is a very diverse market. Even though we cover a huge landmass, our market size is quite small compared to India or the United States. But we do fill a very unique marketplace, as Canada's probably one of the most multicultural countries in the world. And as we look at the market, we look at, what do people want? What do they crave? And one thing we realized very early on is, people crave content from back home to understand what is happening back home, and also entertainment of content coming from back home, whether it's, as I said earlier, whether it's a movie show, a general interest entertainment show, or a news-oriented show, whether it's talking about markets, current, past, what are the outlooks for the future, what are the outlining issues in every country. India is in a very unique space. India is, in my eyes, in a growth bubble, from the tech sectors to the entertainment. And entertainment has been India's niche or key growth for decades now.
Slava, ET Now is the leading business channel, stock market related channel. We cover a lot of unlisted space. Startup space is very active here in India. Huge money is coming into the startup space in India. How did you analyze ET Now, while taking the decision of distributing it in Canada as well? You must have gone through content. You found it perfect fit for that market. Talk to about what went in your mind.
Well, when you look at covering a particular genre in the media space, in this case, a business news channel, you look at to see what's available in the marketplace. And when we do our analysis, obviously we look at what's available locally, and we have Bloomberg, BNN. But when you look at the next market, what is available, we realize that particularly a market that serves a diaspora group, doesn't matter which group it is at this point, but Indian being the largest, we looked at what is available in India that we could deliver back into Canada. And again, as I said earlier, not only to help the Indian diaspora, but also to open the eyes of local Canadian entrepreneurs, businessmen, to look at what India has to offer. India has been tremendously helpful for both from ethnic channels perspective and from the mixology's perspective. At the moment, just to give you a little bit of a roundup, we have our own facility in Bangalore, India, with for mixologies, where we actually have our own office, our own people that are working on projects that we build, develop for the worldwide audiences.
Right. Slava, do you think the very active markets globally, there's a very big bull market which is going on. India is a very hot space in terms of emerging market, a part of the emerging market basket. Uh, there is also some amount of retail investor enthusiasm right now. At least it's very visible in US, it's very visible in India as well. Are you finding that in your at your end as well in Canada, and that will also play a part for good acceptance of ET now among your viewers or the target audience in mind?
Well, I think the Canadian public gets a pretty big download of what is going on North America wide, maybe even Europe wide. But when you talk about Asia, South Asia, in the Indian community, I think there hasn't been that much information that's been delivered back here to the North America market for the communities to actually look and open up and say, there's an opportunity there as well.
Right. Slava, let's move on and also talk about the subject of television, television content. You're a veteran in that space. Talk to us about how are you really seeing the model, the pay TV model, the subscription-based model? How are you really witnessing the models of television content develop or take shape?
Well, I think in the last decade, the pay TV model has shifted dramatically, and it'll continue to shift. I think what we are currently used to and how we consume television is rapidly changing. And I believe probably in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to morph into something completely new, completely different, with the emergence of IPTV or OTT, over the top television. I think it's opened up to a much broader delivery of content to the viewer, period. You could see a slew of new entrants coming in. Just behind me, there's one of our partner company called The Q. They have a fairly unique channel, but this channel is actually fairly strong in the Indian market as it goes. And with the emergence of this new technologies, it's changed the way people are consuming TV. And in this case, also enabled new entrants to grow into markets that they never thought they would ever grow again.
Talk to us about what kind of profiling have you done as far as your target audience is concerned. Millennials are increasingly becoming a very large portion of the viewer audience, and mapping millennials tastes is a very important thing. Uh, Give us some amount of insights. What do they want? How are they consuming television content? And your observation, the way they have from nowhere become a very important influencer or the section of overall target audience over the years.
You're talking about the now generation. I want it now. I don't want to wait for it a second. It's now. Yes, it's so to give you a little bit of a background. We operate over 100 television channels in 25 plus different language groups. One of our key markets was also the Filipino community. And when we first started out, we catered to call it the general interest Filipino market. And what we realized is that market, just like any other market, has done a tremendous shift. And as the market shift, we shifted the channel into a millennial-based Filipino channel, which is curated by millennials for millennials. That is kind of the new direction that we see channels are going. And again, I'll point out to the channel behind me, Q India. It is a millennial-based channel catered to the millennials in India. It was a channel that was designed for the worldwide millennial audiences. So there's a big shift when it comes to the words we call millennials, the now generation. there's a lot of new content being created by them for them, and they're finding different ways of getting it into the people's homes.
So what I wanted to ask you, Slava, was how are you really seeing COVID impact television consumption or electronic visual consumption tastes and trends? Because people were forced to stay at home and now increasingly work from home, they will be sending in proportion, spending more time at home because some businesses have got permanently disrupted. People are not going back to work. How are you really seeing viewership trends change in this new light?
Well, I think people are consuming more television or media in general. I won't use television as just the only source. Uh, I think COVID has made a drastic change in how we spend our time at home or off time. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen when the world opens back up. If those same trends continue, right now as a trend, everything is, hours spent in front of a TV has grown dramatically. Some of the largest operators like Netflix, Disney, their hours of consumption has grown dramatically. We see it on our side. We've even taken one step further. We're looking at this point, how do we create and leverage the current market environment to benefit everyone? We're always looking to reinvent ourselves. And with COVID, at first, when COVID first started back in Canada, we first said, oh, great, we can take a moment to actually clean up some of the backlog that we have. And in turn, it actually made us busier. We have to be more on our feet. We have to produce more. We have to create more on the technology side. It's turned our world a little bit upside down. But at the same time, I think it is changing the way we as people currently view things and changed how our viewing habits have grown, or in this case, maybe not grown. I don't know. It's a difficult question to answer. Time will tell. What I can say is everywhere I look, people are spending more time at home and more time on the couch and more time either on a computer, a laptop, a phone, or a television.
Right. Let's also get in OTT. Uh, that is also born in front of your eyes, and now it's becoming mainstay. In fact, to the extent of shaking out a lot of big businesses which have been around for decades. What are your broad thoughts? And then we talk about how does it evolve from here on.
OTT is a unique product to us. It has changed the way we are consuming television. It has changed the way content is getting to us. It has enabled, whether you're a producer of niche content or a mainstream operator, to deliver your content to the consumer independently of utilizing third parties. Create your app and away you go. In 2004, when ethnic channels launched, we looked around how else can we get our content to the consumers. We realized that IPTV was and is today what we consider OTT, a relevant source, a way to deliver the content. We built a product called Next TV, an end-to-end customer-facing product that enabled us to deliver video from around the world to the consumer, no different than a traditional pay TV business. OTT has changed the way we as consumers consume content today. It has opened up a much broader ability for us to be entertained from niche content. As an example, you can have dedicated channels for dedicated products, racing, cycling, swimming. Anything today under the sun is available on OTT for the consumer that is in particular need of that content, which traditionally was very difficult to get on air.
Up till now, television was kind of one size fits all model. But within OTT, it's being bifurcated to suit a particular targeted audience or niche areas or genres. Do you see that gather pace more?
Oh, absolutely. I think all of us as people, we all have different likes and interests. I've come across a lot of people say, I wish we had cycling TV, or I wish we had rowing TV. This is their passion. This is their like. Things like that would never have been able to get on air on traditional TV because they're just too narrowly focused. With OTT, it's a worldwide opportunity of a product. It's not just hitting an eyeball in one particular territory, city, country. It's hitting the world. We've created a product called Tuber. Tuber is exactly that. Tuber was developed for a niche specialty channel type of service. Multicultural has always been a niche product outside of its home countries. Tuber is exactly that. Tuber is a play on words. Tube meaning the television, Uber meaning the car ride sharing app. We are no different. Tuber's goal is to put content creators and viewers together. We are that application. We've created a marketplace for anyone and everyone. You can watch whatever you like, and at the same time, we will allow any particular operator, content producer, channel to broadcast their content using our product. The idea there was always to make sure that the consumer and the producer is happy. We as the company intermediary are secondary.
Slava, lastly, I want to understand from you, how's business? How are revenues? Business model also came under pressure in the last couple of quarters because of COVID, and costs were required to be trimmed. How is the business model around all this great content which is being put together? Your thoughts?
That's an interesting question. Business is good. It's stable, which is the most important. We're not seeing a whole hell of a lot of growth on traditional pay TV markets because the shift is OTT and everybody's shifting in that direction. The challenge as well, OTT has not only opened up the door to a broader opportunity for entrepreneurs, but it also opened a broader opportunity for what we would call illegal entrepreneurs, people that are just broadcasting and not understanding the rights part of the business, the content ownership, the copyright part. So the business is being challenged, but thankfully we're still, we're in a growth mode. Not as well as the world would imagine to see. I think that, you look at across all markets, other than Netflix and Amazons and Disney of the world that are showing huge numbers. I think the traditional pay TV business and media business in general is struggling a little bit, but I think we will come through COVID and I think we'll prosper again. But overall, I won't say I won't say the industry is in a bad state. I think the industry is in a shift.
All right, Slava Levin, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now and chatting up with you. And here's to a very fruitful and wonderful partnership for carrying ET Now there in Canada. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We're very proud of ET Now. Thank you. We see great.
Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.